If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The NFL world was sent into a whirlwind of speculation this week after Cleveland Browns veteran offensive lineman Joel BITONIO dropped a statement that has fans and analysts talking nonstop. During what was supposed to be a routine press interaction, BITONIO, known for his candid and unfiltered takes, veered into territory that few expected, directly addressing the rising quarterback sensation SHEDEUR Sanders. The quote, simultaneously containing praise and pointed critique, immediately went viral across social media platforms, dominating sports news cycles and creating a buzz that seems impossible to quiet down. BITONIO, who has long been respected for his leadership in the Browns locker room, made it clear that Sanders possesses undeniable talent, vision, and a certain innate ability to read defenses, but he also did not shy away from highlighting areas where the young quarterback still needs to grow. The careful balance of acknowledgement and criticism struck a chord, fueling debates among fans who were eager to dissect every word, tone, and implication. Analysts began speculating whether this was merely a veteran offering constructive insight or a subtle nudge reflecting tension within the team dynamics. And as clips of the remarks circulated, the rumor mill picked up speed at an astonishing rate, ensuring that this topic would dominate conversations for weeks. Fans immediately took to social media, dissecting every nuance of BITONIO's words with a fervor reminiscent of the most intense off-season debates. The internet lit up with threads, memes, and hot takes, with some arguing that BITONIO's critique was the wake-up call Sanders needed to elevate his game to the next level. Others interpreted the comments as a potential sign of friction between the veteran offensive line and the young quarterback, suggesting that the dynamics within the Browns squad might be more complex than what is visible during games or standard interviews. Sports talk shows wasted no time analyzing the remarks, with pundits debating whether the praise was genuine admiration or a tactical approach to challenge Sanders publicly. Meanwhile, fan communities began to compile highlight reels and comparative statistics to support their own interpretations of BITONIO's intentions, and the discussion became so pervasive that it transcended casual sports conversations, appearing in mainstream media outlets beyond the usual NFL coverage. As the narrative continued to evolve, insiders hinted at behind-the-scenes reactions, implying that coaches and team management were closely monitoring the situation, weighing the impact of a veteran player openly commenting on the growth trajectory of a rising star within the organization. The timing of BITONIO's comments could not have been more dramatic, coinciding with a period when the Browns are under scrutiny for their offensive performance and quarterback development strategy. The remarks injected an additional layer of intrigue into an already intense atmosphere, prompting speculation about the internal pressures facing Sanders as he adapts to the professional level. The acknowledgement of his strengths, particularly in decision-making and poise under pressure, was coupled with pointed observations about consistency, timing, and adapting to the speed of the NFL game, areas that experts repeatedly stress are crucial for a quarterback's long-term success. By articulating these points so publicly, BITONIO inadvertently became the focal point of a broader conversation about mentorship, accountability, and team culture. Observers noted that his style of delivering feedback, blunt yet supportive, mirrors approaches seen in other high-profile sports organizations, where veterans play a pivotal role in shaping young talent. As speculation grew, sports journalists began to probe further, attempting to uncover whether this interaction signals a deeper, more strategic mentorship dynamic or if it hints at underlying disagreements about play style, preparation routines, or even leadership philosophy within the locker room. The impact of BITONIO's words extended far beyond the immediate fan base, drawing attention from analysts who specialize in quarterback evaluation and offensive line performance. Debates emerged comparing Sanders to other young quarterbacks who had faced similar scrutiny early in their careers, highlighting how public feedback from teammates can sometimes accelerate development or, conversely, create unnecessary pressure. Sports media outlets meticulously dissected each phrase, tone, and inflection in the original statement, searching for hidden meanings or indications of internal tension. Analysts noted that BITONIO's dual approach, mixing critique with commendation, could serve as a strategic move, signaling to Sanders the standards expected at the highest level while simultaneously demonstrating support. Meanwhile, fan theories proliferated, some suggesting that this public acknowledgement might be laying the groundwork for Sanders to respond on the field in a way that reinforces his capabilities, effectively turning the commentary into a motivational tool. Conversations shifted between technical football analysis, personal chemistry among players, and psychological aspects of team dynamics, illustrating just how complex the fallout from a single statement could become in the hyper-connected ecosystem of modern sports media. The ripple effect of the comments soon made their way into podcast discussions, video breakdowns, and live streams, where influencers and content creators dissected not just the words but the context surrounding them. Many pointed out that BITONIO, with his years of experience in the trenches, understands the pressures and challenges facing quarterbacks, giving his insights an authenticity that fans and analysts alike found compelling. The narrative began to intertwine speculation about leadership roles, the evolution of offensive strategies, and Sanders' ability to adapt to feedback under public scrutiny. Social media algorithms ensured that every clip, quote, and analysis reached millions, magnifying the conversation exponentially. Every game Sanders played following the remarks was immediately analyzed for signs that he was internalizing the feedback, with commentators noting any change in posture, decision-making, or communication with teammates. In this way, BITONIO's statement became more than a quote. It became a lens through which the entire development of a promising young quarterback was being examined, debated, and dramatized, fueling a story that felt more like a serialized sports drama than a simple news item. As the days progressed, insiders hinted that Sanders himself had been made aware of BITONIO's comments, though official statements remained carefully neutral. This fed further speculation about potential responses from the quarterback, who has been praised for both his humility and competitive drive. Analysts debated whether a public acknowledgement, an improvement in performance, or a subtle reaction in team meetings might indicate how Sanders is processing the feedback. Meanwhile, BITONIO's reputation as a candid voice within the locker room only intensified the intrigue, leading to questions about how other teammates might weigh in and whether this sparks a broader conversation about accountability, mentorship, and internal leadership. The narrative grew increasingly layered, encompassing aspects of performance metrics, interpersonal dynamics, and the psychological impact of public critique in a high-stakes environment. Fans continued to dissect every interview, clip, and social media post for hidden cues, ensuring that the story would not fade quietly. By the end of the week, what began as a single statement had evolved into a multifaceted saga, blending sports analysis, personal drama, and the unpredictable energy of fan engagement into a phenomenon that shows no signs of slowing down. The conversation surrounding Joel BITONIO's remarks continued to gain momentum as insiders suggested that the Browns coaching staff might be strategically leveraging the situation to motivate SHEDEUR Sanders without publicly intervening. Sources hinted at private team meetings where offensive strategies and quarterback development plans were being subtly adjusted, possibly influenced by the public attention on Sanders' growth. Analysts speculated that BITONIO's candid words could serve as a catalyst for increased accountability among the offensive unit, sparking internal discussions about execution, preparation, and alignment. Social media reaction was relentless, with fans posting reaction videos, statistical comparisons, and highlight reels that either supported BITONIO's critique or countered it with evidence of Sanders' competence. Sports podcasts dissected not just the remarks but the body language, inflection, and timing, suggesting that every nuance could hint at locker room dynamics and power structures within the team. The buzz became so intense that betting markets, fantasy football discussions, and performance projections began factoring in the perceived influence of BITONIO's feedback on Sanders' upcoming games, blurring the lines between analysis and speculation in ways that only modern sports media could produce. Amidst all this, insiders emphasized that while public attention was high, the real story was likely unfolding behind closed doors, where professional growth and mentorship were being weighed alongside performance expectations. Fans were relentless in their debates, breaking down each element of BITONIO's statement into microanalyses of tone, timing, and underlying intent, creating a digital echo chamber that amplified every possible interpretation. Some argued that Sanders, being a young quarterback with immense talent, might benefit from public feedback from a respected veteran, using it as fuel to prove critics wrong. Others warned that excessive scrutiny could create pressure that hinders development, raising questions about the psychological impact of mixing mentorship with public commentary. Influencers and analysts highlighted that this type of interaction is a double-edged sword. It can either accelerate growth by forcing self-reflection and adaptability, or it can sow doubt and friction if not managed carefully. Memes, viral posts, and opinion threads dominated social feeds, demonstrating that the discussion was no longer about a single quote, but about larger themes of leadership, accountability, and team chemistry. Even casual observers began questioning how the Browns were cultivating young talent and whether the culture promoted open, constructive dialogue or inadvertently fostered tension. Each reaction, clip, and speculation looped back into the conversation, creating a self-reinforcing cycle where rumor and narrative blurred into a single, unstoppable current of discussion. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Sports analysts began drawing parallels between Sanders' situation and historical cases where young quarterbacks faced early criticism from veteran teammates. Comparisons to legendary NFL figures who endured similar scrutiny fueled debates about whether public critique accelerates skill development or exposes vulnerability. BITONIO's dual approach of criticism and praise was highlighted as a deliberate attempt to balance mentorship with challenge, forcing Sanders to reconcile confidence with humility. Analysts suggested that by combining respect for Sanders' abilities with pointed guidance on weaknesses, BITONIO might be creating an environment where self-awareness and improvement become inseparable from performance. Meanwhile, media outlets continued dissecting every post-practice interaction, game day behavior, and sideline communication, attempting to predict whether Sanders would respond with improvement, defiance, or subtle acknowledgement. Fans tracked statistics obsessively, searching for patterns that might confirm or contradict BITONIO's remarks, while insiders hinted at confidential team conversations and strategic adjustments. The ongoing discourse evolved into a layered narrative blending talent evaluation, interpersonal dynamics, and media influence, capturing the attention of both dedicated football followers and casual viewers intrigued by the drama of internal team relations, turning a single statement into a sustained, multi-channel spectacle. Rumors began to swirl regarding possible reactions within the locker room, with some suggesting that BITONIO's honesty might inspire other veterans to voice their perspectives, potentially reshaping team dynamics. Analysts speculated whether Sanders' response in practices, team meetings, and games could redefine his relationship with the offensive line, especially given BITONIO's status as a respected leader. Social media amplified every minor detail, creating a feedback loop where public perception influenced interpretation and interpretation fueled further conversation. The narrative extended beyond football strategy into themes of leadership, mentorship, and communication within high-performance environments. Some insiders hinted that management might be quietly encouraging these interactions to foster growth while maintaining a facade of normalcy in media appearances. Fans dissected every play for signs of responsiveness or adaptation, interpreting small improvements as validation of BITONIO's influence, while any mistakes were immediately analyzed for possible resistance to guidance. In essence, a single remark evolved into a multifaceted story spanning performance metrics, personal growth, and the intangible chemistry of a team navigating the pressures of professional football. Each layer of speculation, reaction, and insider insight contributed to a narrative that was now larger than the original statement, captivating audiences and keeping the rumor alive in ways that traditional sports reporting rarely achieves. Content creators seized upon the drama, producing analysis videos, reaction segments, and speculative commentary that blended humor with detailed breakdowns of Sanders' performance trends. Each clip dissected aspects like decision-making, poise under pressure, and communication with teammates, framing the discussion in a way that felt both entertaining and analytical. Fans contributed their own theories, often turning minor incidents into major talking points, reinforcing the perception that every action on or off the field could be tied back to BITONIO's original statement. Analysts debated the efficacy of public critique in professional sports, noting that when a respected veteran voices concerns, it can simultaneously pressure and motivate, creating a high-stakes psychological environment. Discussions extended to comparisons with other quarterbacks' early career challenges. Considering how mentorship, guidance, and public feedback intersected with performance and long-term development. Meanwhile, social media threads and highlight reels evolved into a participatory spectacle where fans felt empowered to interpret, predict, and influence the narrative, effectively co-creating the story in real time. The original quote had become a narrative engine, generating ongoing content, engagement, and speculation that reinforced its significance far beyond the initial interview, illustrating how a single statement can ripple through the entire ecosystem of modern sports media. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!